In today's video, we're going to talk about another storage solution that might be interesting for you with a dash of RGB. Now, this is going to be interesting. So today we have Yottamaster Y-Defender 5-bay RAID storage solution. We're going to break it down definitely and going to check everything out. Now, you have, I would say, 4 different versions of these because 2 of those come in 4-bay and 2 of these come in 5-bay. Each of one of those versions comes with a hardware write field. So you have switches at the back to adjust the write field as you wish, and the other 2 have only software. So hardware plus software and only software. So this is quite cool. Since I don't have 5 disks in the same storage capacity, I'm going to use my 2 Iron Wolf Pro 4 terabytes, going to place them in and check out everything. But as per usual, before we go any further, let's check out some main features, specifications, of course, because you need to know the dimensions, what does it have and what's up with the RGB, right? And I think this one looks really cool. But we get to the bottom of everything right now. So as I mentioned right at the beginning, we have 4 versions: Y-Defender Series 4-bay and Y-Defender Series 5-bay. DF4U3 and DF4RU3, and that also goes for the 5-bay series, DF5U3 and DF5RU3. The ones that have R in their name have write switches at the back. Now, when we take into consideration the whole concept of this external hardware enclosure, we have on front, you have LED indicators that indicate if the hard drives are working properly or if there's an error on them. Then we have disk bays. After that, you have power interface, which is located at the back where you connect it to your wall socket. Then we have USB 3.0 interface to connect it to your PC. After that, we have a power switch. Write switches, as already stated, DF4RU3 and DF5RU3. Also on those models we have a set button, and for all of them we have cooling holes for the fan, and they go into the shape of Yottamaster. It's designed to house up to 5 2.5 inch or 3.5 inch drives. We have universal removable metal trays, which are easy to install your hard drives or SSDs. And it has, I do have to say, quite unique translucent, a bit darker tinted plexiglass on both sides, so it kind of, I don't know, gives a bit of a diversity when we're talking about storage solutions and similar stuff. Now, the strong power supply can provide up to 280 watts instantaneous power and output in 150 watts of rated power, which can definitely ensure stable operation for your hard drives, even if you insert 5 18 terabytes hard drives in this enclosure. We have 80mm silent RGB fan at the back. And now for the hard drive installation. So you just need to slide the black button, or this, I would call it insert, and the side pops out immediately. So you just hold that door and pull out the tray, which is basically quite easy. And I do have to say, you have loads of screws for your hard drives and your SSDs, depending 2.5 inch or 3.5 inch, it really doesn't matter. And you can fixate them to the caddy with those 4 screws. After doing so, you place back the hard drive tray or SSD tray, as you want to call it, and that's all there is to it. The enclosure needs to be directly connected to your computer or laptop with a data cable, not with the USB hub. Then connect your enclosure to the effective power supply with the power cable. All new hard drives have to be formatted, otherwise the computer can't recognize it. If for some reason you want to change your write field, which is totally understandable, you do have to back up all your data, otherwise everything will be deleted from your hard drive, so do back it up just in case. I do have to mention that. When it's in operation in write mode, do not remove your hard drives. And if the enclosure is in PM or normal mode, all hard drives in the hard drive enclosure are displayed and work independently on the computer. If you want to pull out your hard drive or do anything, place a new hard drive inside while it's turned on, it will temporarily disconnect all other hard drives. So basically, if for instance you want to replace a hard drive, right? If the enclosure is in PM or normal mode, you have, of course, you're going to detect the faulty hard drive, eject and power off the enclosure, then pull out the bad drive, format the new drive on another device first, and then insert the new drive, the same capacity or bigger, to the original position and turn on the enclosure. This is for the PM normal mode. Now, if it's in ride mode, you have to locate the bad drive. Then you do the same with eject and power off. Pull out the bad drive, format the new drive on another device as well, insert the new drive to the original position and turn on the enclosure. Now, presumably you already have their software ride manager, so when you turn on the enclosure will start rebuilding the current ride mode automatically. The light will flash red and blue. Now you can see the ride is rebuilding from the notes or the logs in the ride manager software. As per usual, the rebuilding time also depends on the capacity of your hard drives, so you just have to be patient and wait till it's over. When the rebuilding is finished, the light will turn solid blue and the ride manager will indicate the status. Now, what's in the box? You get a Yottamaster Y-Defender 5-bay enclosure inside the box. You get a USB 3.0 cable, then we have loads of screws. Actually, we have loads of screws, screwdriver, which is quite handy, and the power supply cable for your wall socket. Now I want to check something, so let's see this. If we pull out all the bays out, I want to see the back, and you can see actually now when I'm doing this how it is actually easy to pull out all the bays out. It's quite straightforward. Check this out. Interesting. So each of the bay has separated canals, right? Logical. And you have this part right here, and at the back you can see 5 SATA connections for the power and for the data. That's it. At the back, well, we do have to take it apart to check out everything. So 4 screws are holding the side panel, and as you can see, we access this part right here. You have to slide the plexiglass. That could be good when we're talking about some sort of a functionality, but when we're talking about plexiglass sliding on the aluminium, that definitely doesn't sound good and doesn't look good. But that's just for the connection part that goes and slides into top and bottom, so it won't be visible on the plexiglass after some time. We have here a passive heatsink that is most likely covering some chips. We have some connection part well, basically connection part for the power. We have the RGB fan right here at the back. And what's there left to see? Let me check. We have the USB connection, we have the switch on off, and that's it. This is the whole part right here at the back that does all the job when we're talking about connectivity, your hard drives to the enclosure. So now it's time to check out their software and go a bit further into details when we're talking about that. Okay guys, it's really simple. Basically what you need to do is create 2 new simple volumes on the hard drives. If you have 2 hard drives in your Yottamaster Y-Defender, basically when they are completely created as a new volume, and then we go new simple volume. Let's go next. This is the second hard drive. So we have F now, and we have the H volume, which have been formatted during the creation. That's it. Then you go to the control panel, all control panel items, and then you go to system. This is what it shows up, storage, and then you slide down to manage storage spaces. After that, you create a new pool and storage space where you have the list of all the hard drives that are basically on your PC. Of course, it's going to give you some heads up about that some hard drives or SSDs might contain files, so do check those and don't click on the wrong ones. Since these are connected through USB 3.0, we can see that external USB 3.0 USB device H and the USB device F. So those 2, we pick those, create pool. Drive letter is going to be F, NTFS, resilience, okay. Maximum 363, and that's going to be total pool capacity. And basically you choose the resilience. Now here we don't have the actual write field names. You can't pick write 1, write 0 or whatever. So we go to two-way mirror where the storage space writes 2 copies of your data on each of the SSDs, create storage pool, and now it's formatting everything and it's already done. This is unbelievable. This was really fast. This is it, Yottamaster full properties, and we have 4 terabytes in RAID 1. Basically that's RAID 1, so it comes up to this. It's really fast, it's really easy, and there's no problem with that. The only thing is that if you remove these hard drives or anything similar to that from this storage, or you remove the storage from your PC, you will lose all your data, because this storage pool is basically dedicated to your PC, so you can't carry it around, you can't take it anywhere, and that's all there is to it. So guys, as you can see, Yottamaster Y-Defender is quite easy and straightforward to manage these 5 bays with your hard drives or SSDs. If you decide to go with, you can go with 2, 3, 4, 5, or just 1, it's all up to you. But eventually, if you're going with 5 bay or 4 bay, regardless of that, it will be much easier. The one thing that I would definitely suggest, if you go with this model right here, upgrade to hardware 1, because it's not difficult to create a software RAID, even though in Windows you don't have the actual name standing behind it and saying this is RAID 1, this is RAID 2, you have to mirror something, right? So it'll be quite easier doing everything at the back with the hardware switches for RAID, and it's much easier in those terms because you just flip the switch and you assign the switches accordingly to the RAID field. And that brings us to the point where this is quite cool stuff, right? Now if you go with software RAID, it's dedicated to your PC because everything is done in Windows. So if you disconnect or remove this hard drive, basically if you remove it and try to connect it to another PC, you will lose your data because the RAID field is dedicated to your PC. Now talking about the sound and the noise coming from the NAS, apart from the cool RGB design on the fan, because the side plexiglass on both sides is dark tinted. So even if you leave your RGB fan, it won't distract you or anything else, right? But the noise coming from the fan is a bit too high in my personal opinion when the hard drives are working. So unless you open up the whole chassis and fiddle around with the connection towards the fan to lower down the RPMs, lowering down the decibel noise, it's going to be a bit louder than you're used to when we're talking about NAS storage and storage enclosures in general. Those are my thoughts on the Yottamaster Y-Defender. Finally, it's something that brings you 5 bays for a nice price, cool design, really like the whole transparent design with the RGB fan. Shame you can't control it. That would be even much more better if they had some sort of a dedicated software behind that you could adjust the RGB lights on the fan, that you could adjust the speeds of the fan, that you could create your RAID field through that software and all the other stuff. But regardless of that, it's a cool solution if you want something dedicated strictly for your PC. And that's all there is to it. Guys, I'll place the links below if this is something that you might find interesting. Yottamaster Y-Defender 5 bay storage enclosure, quite nice aluminum chassis, well crafted, well designed, and that'll be all for today. The link is in the description below. Don't forget to check it out if you're interested, as already stated. And finally, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and click the notification bell to see future content. Thank you. See you next time, guys. Bye bye.